In this video, I'm making homemade sloppy joes with a sweet and tangy sauce simmered from scratch, served with crispy tater tots and a Caesar salad with a surprise bonus, homemade cheese crisps. Hi, I'm Elizabeth, and on this channel, we'll start by cooking a meal, and then at the end, we'll sit down and count carbohydrates. I'd love for you to join me. Let's get started. Slice and dice an onion into small pieces. Cook the ground beef. I begin with a medium-high heat. I add my emotional support seasonings of garlic powder and onion powder. Turn the meat frequently and continue to chop everything up. Don't forget to add your chopped onion. And near the end, add some garlic. When everything is thoroughly cooked, drain and then put back into the pan. Ever wonder what to do with that leftover grease? Take a look at my how-to grease disposal short. The sauce is what makes this joe sloppy. A can of crushed tomatoes, a can of tomato sauce, ketchup, Worcestershire sauce, and if you are making this gluten-free, make sure the Worcester is Lee and Perrin, brown sugar, and of course my emotional support seasonings. Sure, why not? And don't forget the mustard. When the sauce is completed, add it to the cooked and seasoned hamburger. Mix it all together, pop a lid on it, simmer for about 10 minutes. If the sloppy is too thick, add in a few tablespoons of water. Making cheese crisps is super simple and adds that special touch to a salad. Grate the cheese, and here I'm using Romano. Preheat a non-stick skillet. Using a medium heat, carefully spread out about a quarter cup at a time of cheese into the pan to form a thin layer. Wait for it to melt and then flip it over for another few seconds. Pull the finished crisp out of the pan, and for a full crispness factor, let them settle at room temperature. Air fry tater tots per the package directions. Super simple. The addition of a Caesar salad brings this meal to perfection. Romaine lettuce, cherry tomatoes, cucumber, and red onion. Drizzle with some Caesar dressing and add the cheese crisp. You are ready to plate. Tater tots, sloppy joe, Caesar salad. This was a dinner winner for my family. Enjoy! Before I begin the actual carb count, let me say that I am not a medical professional. I am just a person who happens to wear my pancreas in my pocket. I also happen to have years of living with type 1 diabetes. I was diagnosed in 1964. If you do have a medical question, please consult your diabetic care team. Let's begin the carb count. There will be some math involved, but don't worry, it's not that hard. So let's begin with the sauce. There was 4 grams in the tomato sauce. There was 8 grams of carbohydrates in the tomatoes. There was 4 grams in the ketchup. There was 1 gram in the Worcester sauce. I'm not sure how you say that. I just say it Worcester, like a rooster with a W. Brown sugar was 4 grams, mustard 0 grams, and any of the seasonings that I used had 0 grams. The meat mixture, the ground beef had 0, the onion had 2 grams, and the garlic had 1 gram. The tater tots had 21 grams. And for the salad, the romaine lettuce had 1 gram per serving. The cherry tomatoes had 2 grams, the red onions had 0 grams, the cucumber had 0, the Romano cheese had 0, and the dressing had 0. You add all of this up and it comes out to 48 grams of carbohydrates per serving. Once you have your final carbohydrate count for your serving, you will need to divide this number by your carb ratio. For instance, if I use my carb ratio of 1 to 15, 48 divided by 15 is equal to 3.2 units of insulin needed to keep my blood sugar within a normal range. Happy carb counting, and remember, my fellow type 1s, counting carbs so your pancreas doesn't have to, one meal at a time.